Welcome to language for fourth grade. This is lesson 135 and 136. As you saw in the last lesson or the last class in math, I'm combining these videos to help you not have to look for more than one video for the day. So we are it may be a little bit longer than my previous videos, but I'll make it as short as I can and as concise. But first of all, I want you to turn to page 97 in your language books. And you need your book report that you should have finished by now. So this is your book that you've been reading, and at least a couple of you had told me that you were almost done or were done with the book, so I'm hoping that everyone is done with it. If not, then you may come back to this part of the video and refresh your memory on how to do a book report. But on 97 to page 100 gives all the information on writing a book report. And so just to recap, the important information that you need in the very first part is the title of the book. Remember to underline it. The author of the book, who wrote it. The type of book, if it's fiction, nonfiction, biography, or Christian biography, Christian fiction, and the number of pages in the book. So those things need to be in that first little paragraph. You can look at the example on page 98 to see how she arranged it. She started with the title of the book, Felicia Cartwright and the Frightened Student, was written by Bernard Palmer. There's her author. This Christian fiction book contains 127 pages, and so there's her type of book and the page numbers. So if you can combine, you can make that in 2 sentences. If you need to make it in 3 sentences, that is fine as well. 2 to 3 sentences for that first information paragraph. And then you're going to have a paragraph of what the book is about. So who the book is about and where it happens, and some other details, just a quick synopsis of a quick retelling of the story, okay? That's what a synopsis is. And then the most interesting part to you get to do a little paragraph on that. And then you have a statement at the end. I have read this entire book, and you sign your name. And yes, you need to sign your full name. Okay, so this is the way that I want it laid out. And this will be due with your work at the end of this week. So go ahead and you can get working on that. If you want to pause the video and work some on that, you may. Don't forget to go through the check and just see if you have everything, and what you and just checking for spelling and grammar and all of that. All right, so then we are going to go to Unit 12, so page 205 and 206 is what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the time today. All right, if you'll take a look at the board, we have a few sentences, and the first one says, Morgan and Ryan worked quickly. I hope you can read all of that. So this is an example of our compound sentence or compound subject, right? So we've got Morgan and Ryan that we would underline, and we have a verb. Morgan and Ryan did what? They worked, okay? And how did they work? They worked quickly. This is an adverb describing how they worked, okay? So that's all of this sentence is. It's Morgan and Ryan worked quickly. Your parents might be asking you this as you've been doing your lessons. Will you be finished soon? Maybe they want to do something as a family, and they're wondering how soon you're going to take on your lessons. So, will you be finished soon? This is a question, and so where is our subject in this sentence? You is our subject. I hope you got that. And what is our verb? You, a little more defined, you will be finished. All three of those words. Will be are both in our helping verb list, and finished is our action verb, okay? And then what is soon? Soon is also an adverb, okay? When you will be finished, okay? Goes back to all three of our verbs. Here we've got new babies cry very loudly. What is our subject and verb in this sentence? All right, so babies would be our subject and cry would be our verb. What about these other words? They seem to be describing, so they're adjectives or adverbs. Let's see, new babies. What is babies? It's our subject, which makes it a noun, okay? Because it's not a pronoun, so it's the only other option is a noun. So this one, new goes to this, and it's an adjective. Okay? Very loudly. How do they cry? Do they cry very? No, they don't cry very. They cry loudly. So this is an adverb that goes to cry, but very describes loudly. How loudly? Okay, so our sentence, new babies, new describes babies, babies cry loudly, is how they cry, and very loudly, very describes loudly, and loudly describes cry, okay? In this next sentence, I'm gonna demonstrate something because now that we've reviewed some of the things that we've been talking about, adverbs and adjectives, now we're gonna add the rest of the sentence. This is prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections, okay? So we're gonna start with prepositions. As we've been talking about them a little bit because 6th grade has been learning them again. And the prepositions have there's ways to think about prepositions and to find them in your sentences, because we actually have a list of them and they're commonly used prepositions, but we don't actually have a list that says all of the prepositions because there's lots more words that could be prepositions. Okay, so if we look at this sentence, the camera is in the basket. Okay, I've got my camera and it's in the basket, and I'm sure you guys are thinking, I'm glad I'm not in school today because she'd be taking my picture, and that would be true. I would be taking your picture. So some of you might not be too scared by that, but some of you I know don't like your picture taken. But that's not the point of this lesson. The camera is in the basket. So where is the camera? In the basket, okay? So this whole thing is a phrase. Let me show you. When we have a prepositional phrase, I like to mark it off with parentheses, okay? Parentheses show that this is a part of the sentence, but it doesn't have, we don't find our subject or our verb inside the prepositional phrase, okay? A prepositional phrase always starts with a preposition, and a preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun after it, its object, and some other word in the sentence. So the relationship between the object and another word in the sentence. So the camera is in the basket. What if, instead of in, we replace this word with on the basket? okay? What if our basket was upside down and the camera is sitting on the basket? It's on the basket, right? So that's a different idea, right? It's on the basket instead of in the basket, okay? If we were to not do the basket, we could say the camera is around, the camera strap is around my neck, okay? Around is also a preposition. The camera strap is around my neck. So the strap was on my neck or around my neck. So the two things that it's showing, the relationship between my neck and the camera strap, okay? That's what this preposition does. And if you look at the rest of the next part of this page, it talks about the birdhouse and Polly. Polly sleeps in her birdhouse. Polly sleeps near her birdhouse. Polly sleeps beside her birdhouse. Polly sleeps on her birdhouse. Polly sleeps by her birdhouse. Polly sleeps behind her birdhouse. And Polly sleeps underneath her birdhouse. The prepositions in dark print show the particular relationship between Polly's sleeping and her birdhouse. The words in italics are the words which the prepositions connect. The noun after the preposition is called the object of the preposition. Okay? So our object of the preposition in this phrase, on the basket, is basket. We call it an OP, or the object of the preposition. The word on is a preposition, and PREP is our usual abbreviation for preposition. And the is one of our articles, and it's an adjective, and so the prepositional phrase consists of a preposition, an object, and any words that modify the object. Now, it doesn't have to always have words that modify it, because you could have a phrase like by me, stand by me. Where are you supposed to stand? By me. Okay, by me is your prepositional phrase, and by is your preposition, and me is your object of the preposition. Your object is always going to be a noun or a pronoun. So basket was a noun, me is a pronoun, okay? All right, you may turn the page, and on 206, we're going to look at this list of common prepositions, and we're actually going to sing the song that 6th grade sang. So sing it with me as best you can, and we'll sing it through 2 times. This is the first time. And then you're gonna just do the exercise right as what your work for today besides your book report, okay? So, looking at your list in your book, and I'll look at my list in my book, we're gonna sing the song, okay? So we just go down each column. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at. These are the first ones: before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off, on, over, past, since, through and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, and without. Now I am finished. We'll do it one more time, just so that you can hear it again. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at. These are the first ones: before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off, on, over, past, since, through and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without. Now I am finished. All right, number one. So these sentences have multiple options. You do not have to use, there's not one right preposition to use in these sentences. But number one, I'm going to give you a couple different options just to help you out as you are getting started. We went blank Joseph's house on Greeley Street. Okay, so we could say that we went to Joseph's house on Greeley Street, or we could say we went around Joseph's house on Greeley Street. We went within Joseph's house on Greeley Street. We went near Joseph's house on Greeley Street. So you see, there are many of them that will fit in each of these. So I just want you to pick your favorite one. Don't use them. Don't use any preposition more than 2 times. So if you get stuck and there's only one that you can think of that would fit there, then you can repeat your preposition one other time. But I want you to try to think through this and see if you can come up with using 10 of them without having to repeat any of them. All right, I am going to close out this video for language and you can get this exercise done, and then the rest of your time with language you can be working on your book report, and we will see you next time.